Woo! Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. King Charles II is among you. You know, I can really tell you how shocked and appalled I could really be, but there's nothing shocking. Not anything. Not ever. I can tell you how disturbing this may seem, but you'll never understand why is it not shocking. This is the reason why the hatred of black men and black male independent thinking is always so dangerous in the eyes of simps, divestors, and contrarians alike. This is the fucking reason why what you say and put out in the internet, you need to be very cognizant of what the hell you're doing and saying. This, my friends, is the one that broke the camel's back. There's no amount of making excuses. There's no amount of fence sitting. Say what's up in the chat if you're here. This is despicable on so many levels. It's incredible how hate speech is when you tell the truth, but you can co-sign and represent for a person who went on air, and co-signed and big upped, exalted even, a black woman saying we should abort black male babies. You know, I'm going to tell you, if this guy gets 10,000 subscribers and you fellas let niggas like him win, it's your fault. It's your goddamn fault. Oh, you probably just hating. How the fuck can I hate on such a creep? How can I hate on such a cowardly individual? Someone too damn cowardly to even say when you have a goddamn divester preaching genocide. Then you come out trying to compare. Oh my God, you're sick, man. You're a sick individual. You're trying to compare the DC sniper to the Manospeare. You're trying to compare John Allen Muhammad to the Manosphere. Assalamu alaikum. And we'll alaikum salam. So, oh! Something has to be legitimately wrong with you. Your mental faculties are skewed. I cannot take you seriously. I think you're just incompetent on a fundamental level. On a fundamental level, you're just incompetent. You're disingenuous, yes, but you're just incompetent. You're going to really stretch the imagination and say that the men in the Manosphere are terrorists, mass murderers, and shooters? You're really going to make a comparison to that? Are you fucking insane? Do you know how dangerous, how explosive, and how destructive that fucking language truly is? See, this is the reason why I gotta look at places like, YouTube, and I look at you and I say, you play fucking favorites. You play favorites. You have no problem of black male mediocrity, but you shadow ban any of our greatness. YouTube, and I'm speaking directly to YouTube, you allow a black woman to preach genocide, but a guy like Andrew Tate gets canceled? You're a fucking joke. And then you allow this shaved stuffalufficus, AMIRI Brown, to come out here and compare men who are finding their way to a goddamn terrorist. Are you fucking mad? And it's funny, right? Because you got these simps out here who speak against their own upliftment, all the while exalting everyone who wants nothing but their total annihilation. But I'm wrong. I'm saying some disparaging things about me, Officer Faulkner. No, every goddamn thing I say about you is true. You fucking nutcase. You ought to be emergency petitioned because I don't know. Maybe you're just not smart enough to understand the fucking ramifications shit like this can actually become. But this is what I'm going to tell you, black men. Be careful what you tolerate because you're teaching people how to treat you. You are teaching people how to treat you. This is a black man who has sons, according to him, and these are the type of women you want your sons to mate with, right? See, you think just like a goddamn woman. You can't think past the length of your own damn arm. Do you want your son dating and mating with any of the women in your chats? But you're not going to answer that. You're not going to answer that. And I'm going to just say it out. Chaos, I'm looking at you real strange right now. I'm looking at you real fucking strange right now. You try to defend this guy of his last post, which I still didn't see. But you're going to go up there and have him talk about the Manosphere like we're fucking John Allen Muhammad and Lee Malvo. Are you fucking serious? You condone this shit, my dude? You condone this shit? Because you do know he's talking about you too. If you're part of the space, if you have any inkling or agreement to anything we speak about. See, a lot of you people out there say and do things for viewerships, likes, and super chats, but you're not careful of the material you put out there that's now forever in prosperity. Time immemorial, people. But yet, all these people who are cowardly, afraid, and just plain disingenuous to know you grew up in the same goddamn black fucking community as anyone else, think it's okay for the behavior of sisters. It's okay to have the kids, especially the boys, but not teach them to read on level. You're okay with that. Then you come on my post after I pointed out and put up your material and showed how idiotic you were being. Come get this work. I'm going to say this to you, AMIRI. What consequence are you to me? What the hell can you tell me? I don't let any woman have any dominion over me. Come get this work. What work? What you are is a brisk walk, not work. This truly shows how disturbed you become. Because when you and Cynthia G had your first little fallout, by yours truly and BGS and everybody else who was on that panel that night, you look like a fool. Then you had to go get your mistress of the dark, and you thought she was gonna mommy us into fucking submission, and it backfired because she looked like a goddamn idiot. You thought what Dr. Umar Johnson did to her when I just took one question that she's still afraid to answer. What's the opposite of a beta male coon? And she ran out of there quicker than a Negro with a dirty heat and a kilo in his back pocket. She got inside that car and started driving it like she stole that sumbitch. But yet, when you try to come out the next 6 months to a year after you were viciously scolded, then you want to be on some red pill shit, and you weren't getting the viewership you wanted. So now your old habits die hard, and you went back to what you know, being a good little whipping boy for Cynthia G. Why should I go see? And this is what I told Chaos when he was in the chat, because notice you don't really see him come on my panels anymore. You'll see him in the chat, but you don't see him in my panels, which I think is odd. And he said, well, you got to look at AMIRI stuff. Why can't you just say what he did if it was that fundamentally great? But here's the part you got to understand something. You are the company you keep. Let's just put that out there. All this shit that AMIRI speaks of, he's talking about you, pal. He's even talking about himself. Well, no, there's no way that black fathers are the best fathers in the country. See, this is the fundamental flaw that's in all of your plans. You are too fucking naive to even notice you're speaking ill about your damn self. Well, I'm a patriarch in my family. I'm the one. Yeah, okay. Shut that bullshit up. If you're so much of a damn patriarch, guess what? Your daughter would have been. You would have chose who your daughter would have had a baby by. You would have chose who your daughter would have married and married her off. That's what patriarchs do. But I guess we pick and choose and cherry pick stories to try to compare the Black Manosphere to a goddamn mass murderer. Just like you pick and choose not to speak about all these divestors. You pick and choose not to talk about that one black woman in Florida who allowed her white boyfriend to murder her son and leave the rest of her surviving sons in the same damn house with their brother's corpse. But you don't say shit about that, do you? Because there's so much money into bashing black men. It's fucking amazing, man. It's disturbing. You look at Cynthia G up there, well, probably one of the, like BGS said, probably your biggest ally to black women, and you go up there, and I'm glad Umar was there with you. I'm so happy. And I want to teach you something real quick, right? I want everybody to share this shit with your friends, share this shit with your peoples, because fundamentally, black women are lost. Fundamentally, black people, we got to understand something about our women that a lot of people don't want to admit. They are the greatest saboteurs to black male endeavors than anybody. And it's really disturbing. I want you to fundamentally understand. Militaristically, how are you going to piss on your allies? You know, the Hotep, the pro-black, the black woman is God community. So I remember when I was in the 8th grade when I went to the Million Man March. I went to pro-black private schools, pro-black Christian, pro-black Catholic. I think it's disturbing how hurt, distraught, and demonic of a soul Cynthia G has been. I want you to listen real closely, Cynthia. Stop blaming black men for the failures that your parents were. Your mother chose to sleep with that crackhead. Stop blaming it on black men. Regardless, whatever ups and downs I have with my mother or my father, I don't blame the totality of a people unless you see a disturbing trend. And you know what that disturbing trend is? That you live in a culture who uplifts whoremongers behavior, destructive, wayward boys. But you're okay with that. You're okay with the fact that you can wipe the blood off your hands. You have no soul. If you look right in the eyes of that broken ass woman, Cynthia G, she has no fucking soul. She's disturbed. And these are the type of people a man like AMIRI will defend. These are the type of people he will defend. You come out there and you talk about to men, and there's a good amount of men in the Black Manosphere who are in long-lasting relationships and or married. I think there's something fundamentally wrong with you, man. And this is supposed to be a black married man saying this shit. A black married man saying this shit. We want these chicks to submit. Black women were never taught to be submissive, and you know it. You know it. You know it. A lot of you dudes make these excuses, man. But try to shit on black men. Not understanding that you're condemning your own destruction. Excuse me. You're actually being the accomplice of your own damn destruction. But yet you wonder why I said we have no allies. But this great value version of Derek Jackson thinks that the Black Manosphere is equal to a terrorist and mass murderer. Why does he still have a channel? I'll wait. I'll wait. You comparing this space to to a mass murderer? Yeah, I heard your stream when you were like you apologized. Yeah, but guess what? That's disingenuous because you did insult the surviving members of those who were murdered by that idiot. Just like I answered to you. Well, what was happening? The man was mentally ill. Nobody in this space, on my channel, or anybody in the manosphere is going to condone the actions of a goddamn John Allen Muhammad and a Lee Malvo. Are you fucking stupid? I get touched in the brain, as they say. Who the fuck? Who in the world would condone his actions? Everybody in the manosphere would condemn him. May he be stricken from the record books. But like I said, you'll pick Lee Malvo and John Allen Muhammad, but you'll never pick the chicks who be running over their men trying to kill them with the car. You'll never talk about the almost 70% aggressor rate of black women in our community when it comes to domestic violence. No, you will not. No, it will not matter. You're disturbing. Anything and everything about you is disturbing, man. If this is what you represent, when did you ever hear the Black Manosphere condone violence, especially against innocent bystanders? When did you hear that? But none of you will ever hear anybody's live stream when we're teaching a young brother who was afraid. And I said, look, dude, you got a good woman. You probably got one of the better women in our community. You fuck this up, we coming to your house to kick your ass. Even if you break up, be on good terms. And the brother's still with the girl to this day, about to propose. You'll never cherry pick that shit, will you? Never that. I think the fundamental flaw is that some people are just too dumb to be stupid. I really think it's suspect as hell that you look at black men so negatively, but you're one yourself. You're no better Then the bullshit that Fox Soul pulled when they had Dr. Umar, Cynthia G, and they had that transformer right there speaking on the struggles of a black woman. You're not a black woman no matter how much your psychosis may dip out. How can you speak on the struggles of having a menstrual cycle if you were born a male? Let's be real fucking honest, Hope. You ran from masculinity, you coward. You ran from masculinity. You forsaken your right to speak ill of men. The amazing part about you being transgendered or somebody in another race being transgendered, they would go away and live their life abundantly. Not you. You got to take your funky gym sock smelling ass on a panel speaking ill about black men when you were born one. Nobody found that strange. I'm speechless. I'm just on a kicker where I'm like, what do you get out of this? This is real disturbing. It just bothers the mind. Here it is, right? Black man with a family agreeing that black men are not good fathers. Last time I checked, when black men were in the home, we produce overachieving children. You can't even get more than 10% of your fucking boys when they reach the 8th grade to fucking read on level. But you could go to that fucking court and ask for more child support. You could go to that damn office and get more stamps. I'm just, I'm shocked. Think about that. Think about that shit. How can you be a black father and a black married man and you're going to speak ill about your class, your people? No, 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 that's not true. Okay, let's look at it this way. When does the United States government take an L? Because the CDC didn't even have to come out with that study. And when you actually go and look at that study, you're like, I'll be damned. You would think they would try to hide this shit. So what is the failure here? That guys like him do not compute. That hardworking black man working late to support his family, he's not worthy of respect. That black man who's a mechanic, is he not worthy of respect? The college graduate, the engineer, the doctor, the police officer, the firefighter, the military personnel. What black man do you think is worthy of respect? I'm waiting to marry. I'm waiting. Shout out to Mike for the Cash App support. I'm going to ask this question again. I'm waiting. What black man do you think is worthy of a black woman's respect? And in their mind, that man outranks you, Amiri. That man, in all reality, in their minds, does not exist. Well, the Conqueror. That's the reason why she's on Fox Soul. The Black Girl Magic. The Black Girl Magic was not just Black Girl Magic. What happened was she carries around a rod, a magic stick. This shows how defeated you are. That you would have somebody who says Black Girl Magic come out, speak ill about black men, but big up black women and their magic. But yet, Harry Potter, you still have a wand. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but let's put it to the test. 9 times out of 10, you were born with one. 10 times out of 10, you were born with one. It's a damn shame. But to compare us to a serial murder, you gone off the water, man. You must be smoking formaldehyde or something, some embalming fluid or something, some bath salts, because you lost your goddamn rabbit mind. But then, for 150 years, black men have been on the totem pole. And when black men understand the cheat code was, if she offers no assistance, tell her to go keep her distance, and then you do everything to keep your resistance. It, it, it's it's sad. It's sad. I'm just looking at this on a fundamental scale. I'm just looking at this whole scenario and wrapping my head around it, and I'm like, wait a minute, this guy really did this. I, shit like this really makes you want to stop fucking making content. It, it's strange how these kids are being set one way to hell, no return seats. I'm thinking to myself, how many people got that one person in a family that's disturbing, antagonistic of a relationship that brother's probably going to be in? It's like turning the wheels of a clock. Let me think if I could bash black men again and get a check. It, it's wayward. I, I'm I'm wondering, do you wish this type of rhetoric that you're spewing actually reached the masses? I'm just wondering, are we foolish enough to actually co-sign our own destruction? There's no growth. There's no fertile sand or ground. All it is just pavement. Not even in a decent way, but just pavement for you to shut the fuck up. You know, criticizing and make a critique about things when it came out better than this shit. Mm-mm-mm. I'm just really looking at these people and I'm saying, what good are you? I'm just at a loss for words, man. I truly am. Fundamentally, when things go wrong, blame a black man. When I'm broke, blame a black man. Mm. I think it's real shameful when you can't even encourage open dialogue without any of the biases you hold. I'm just looking at it like you've been doing well as a community for the last 150 years. Guys like him would say, "Hey, you got to treat him like a queen." I'm just like visualizing things in my head and imagine people actually joining him in this destruction. Well, it doesn't matter if you're, you know, in charge or not there, out of sight. It doesn't matter because something about watching that whole live stream between Dr. Umar and Sinji is that I think he's making I told you so's just to just to get some fucking likes, man. Just to get some fucking likes. I think it's I think it's really fucked up. And you're putting up false information and comparing that shit to what? A mass murderer. I'm just wondering, like, there's gonna be little kids out there listening to the Mary Brown, a Sinji, and a Derek Jackson, and they're gonna grow confused as hell. Mm, 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 mm. I, you wonder why movements like my brother's keeper were thrown away. It wasn't just black women, it was the simps that fall behind them. Yeah, what about the girls? What's more important to a society? A well trained, well off, classical man? Or a chick who sits in front of the goddamn computer not working? I sit back and sometimes I'll be like, man, and I ponder to myself, like, man, I, it's very hard to express myself right now because everything, when a black man tries to go for freedom, elevate himself, elevate others, when he tries to go for the laws of the land, he gets shunned, guilted, put down. Ridiculous, man. Got people out there thinking this is the fucking gospel truth. Hmm. I'm just wondering about this shit. It's this feminist pandering shit. It's run its course. I'm just done with this shit. And I'm looking at some people real side eyes, man. And I'm talking about you, Chaos. You're on a panel where you condoning what this nigga said multiple times in multiple different situations. What really makes me sad is that you can go outside and see the sky is blue. Everybody around you can see it, but you come out of your mouth and be like, it's not blue, it's crimson, it's purple. I, I wonder if they ever got into like some arguments about the baby mama, baby father shit. I'm just reflecting right now that we actually have idiots who go out of their way to say some false bullshit, stretch the truth even. For what? The problem is this. When black men get up and go, or they don't want to deal with you in any type of way, aren't you out there to live? I'm just wondering. I guess I'll do a quick opening for people to come up and say their piece. I'm a little weirded out by this shit. We're on the same footing as same. You gotta literally prop this motherfucker up. And remember, this is somebody's grandchild you're gonna see one day. You're gonna see somebody's child there one day. Uh, this is what YouTube wants. They can keep it, man. This is what YouTube wants. I want you to remember that. Mark my fucking words, man. Mark my fucking words. We've already learned what the shady practices are. Um, I think it's funny because, if these are the people that's getting traction, leave them to their own destruction. I think it's hilarious, even. I'm really starting to see a pattern inside our whole relationship with men, and probably has to deal with something or another hating on another black male, not getting your money, not being added in. We conspire more against our own, against us, than anybody. I'm just waiting. Somebody please explain this shit to me. It's just disappointment, man. It, it's it's creepy. It's bad enough you put up all these tributes to a person like Sinji and Derek Jackson. And you're right. Uh-uh. This is fundamentally wrong, man. Uh, this is all you get. You're gonna get one shot at this shit, and we're gonna have to come up with a list and criteria for you even to be in this space. I'm gonna come back tomorrow, and I'm gonna do another in-depth talk about this shit. Because right now, you're the one who's gonna be affected. I'll tell you, man. I don't know about you, but I'm out. Oh!